Welcome back to HD Entertainment Group. Man, it's been a minute. Today, I just want to talk about the NBA playoff that's been going on so far. So far, round one has concluded. You got Boston Celtics beating the Brooklyn Nets, who many thought the Brooklyn Nets would be the favorites. Those people are crazy. I don't know why you thought those guys, based on the inconsistency in the season and Kyrie's craziness during the season, was going to be favorites. But whatever. You had Philly beating Toronto. You got Memphis beating the Timberwolves. So the round one has been fantastic. You got the Warriors beating the Nuggets. So now we're in round two, and round two has been fantastic. Like the playoffs so far has been fantastic. But right now I want to focus on just the Miami Heat because I am based in South Florida. It is our Miami Heat. So I want to talk about the Miami Heat for this video and how they're in trouble. Now, before, when the series started, there was no Joel Embiid because he had broken his face in the previous round, and also he has I forgot they call it. It's not a broken finger, but he does need surgery on it. I forgot the technical doctor term for it, but his shooting hand is kind of messed up a little bit. So he wasn't in game one and two when the Miami Heat played the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Miami Heat beat them pretty comfortably in the last two games. Although they didn't shoot particularly well in those first two games, but they still beat the Philadelphia 76ers, and James Harden is James Harden. I don't really trust him in the postseason. So the fact that this man, Joel Embiid, who was in contention for the MVP, now that we know the whole thing, will be named the MVP, which I don't agree with that, but that's a discussion for another video. Joel Embiid came back looking like Batman.
I'm Batman.
He's wearing the mask, all players wear when their face are damaged or broken. Came in like Batman and is making the Miami Heat look like the Gotham City criminals. He is absolutely destroying the Miami Heat, and the Miami Heat has no answers for him. The Miami Heat are a small team. I mean, Bam is your center, and he's like, what, 6'8"? Usually centers are at least minimum 6'10" and up. So they're already undersized. And the fact that this guy came in and just changed the whole series for the Miami Heat, they're in some serious trouble. Like, I already thought the Miami Heat weren't going to be in contention for the title. Now, Miami Heat is a very good team, and they're very well coached, but they have their limits. They have no real superstars. No offense to Jimmy Butler, no offense to Bam Adebayo, but those guys are not superstars like a Kevin Durant or a Jason Tatum or a Giannis Antetokounmpo. They're not at that level, so their ceiling is only this high. Like I have hope that they'll make it to the finals, but I knew they weren't because they don't have that guy on the team. And Philadelphia 76ers, as much as I don't trust Joel Embiid because he, along with James Harden, as inconsistent as a player could come in the postseason, Joel Embiid with injuries and James Harden just James Harden. I didn't think that they'd go so far, but it looks like they're probably going to go to the conference finals because now that Joel Embiid came back, the series is tied 2-2. And the Miami Heat have not been shooting very well. I believe they're shooting 20% from the three. And one thing I see a lot on a lot of the sports shows I just watch and the internet is why Eric Spoelstra is not playing Duncan Robinson. Now, I know that he's a defensive liability, but if you're going to live and die by the three, you need to put that guy in because he's the best sharpshooter you have on that entire roster. He's getting paid, I believe it was 5 years, $90 million. You gotta play him. I mean, if you're losing, switch it up. Like, he can't do any more damage than you're already doing. You're already taking L's. Like, switch it up. So, now, like, Miami and the Philadelphia 76ers was a boring series, in my opinion. But now it's actually very interesting. This series is probably going to go to a game 7 if Joel Embiid keeps us up and Miami keeps toying around with their food. They got to shoot better. Kyle Lowry, he's always been a thick person, but, man, he's looking extremely thick, if you know what I mean, and not in a good way. Victor Oladipo, he's been plagued with injuries this whole season, so he didn't really have time to be the Victor Oladipo we know. He's getting heavy minutes. I think he's averaging 30, 35 minutes so far in this series. So that is a lot of time for a guy who's still kind of trying to mesh with his new team. And Jimmy's just being Jimmy. I'll give Jimmy credit. He had a 40-point game that last game they played the Sixers, and he's been playing well. But, like, again, if Jimmy's your number one guy, and no offense to Jimmy, I love Jimmy. He's one of the best two-way players in the league, in my opinion. He's Miami Heat's Klay Thompson. But if he's your first option, Miami Heat's kind of in trouble. So, man, I just hope that my Miami Heat could, overcome the 76ers, but it's looking like a grind. I still have the Miami Heat in a game 7, to be honest, because I know James Harden is very prone to disappear in the playoffs, and Joel Embiid, as dominant as he is, he's very plagued with injuries right now. So I don't know how much it's going to have effect of him. I'll give credit for him. Before, he never used to play through injuries. Now he's playing through injuries like a man, and I'll give him credit for that. Like, he's playing through the injuries. But again, when you're injured like that and you could feel it, like, you only could do so much. So I'm expecting the Miami Heat to win in a game 7. This is going to game 7. I have no doubt in my mind. This series will go to a game 7. And Miami Heat does have home court advantage, so hopefully they could pull out a W. But man, it's not looking good for Miami Heat at all. And I won't be surprised if Philadelphia wins, and they're probably gonna play the Bucks, who I had the beginning as my favorites to win the East. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in the league by far, no matter what the NBA wants to say statistic wise for Jokic, which again that's another discussion for another video. But man, Miami Heat got to pull their stuff together because, like, I don't know what else you need to do for the Miami Heat organization to be that team that contends every year for an NBA title. Like, Miami is a good place that everyone wants to go to, but their culture is not particularly getting superstars. I mean, LeBron, we were lucky to get LeBron James, and I mean, we drafted Dwayne Wade, so Dwayne Wade was a superstar that we built, but we need that Dwayne Wade, LeBron James type of guy to be back to always contending for championships because Kyle Lowry, as much as I love Tyler Hero, that ain't gonna cut it. Jimmy Butler, as much as I love Jimmy Butler, he's not gonna cut it as your main star. So you need like a Damian Lillard, you need like a Kyrie Irving, you need like a Kevin Durant, someone like that who you give them the ball in the last 3 minutes of the game and they'll take the game home for you. So and plus Miami Heat needs size. I don't know what they're gonna do in the offseason, but they need to get big because teams are proven, especially with the big men of the leagues like Giannis, Joker, and Joel Embiid, you can't be undersized unless you could shoot like the Warriors. Unless you could shoot like the Warriors, there's no point in being that small. So, man, I hope Miami Heat could pull out a victory, but it's looking rough. I believe today would be Monday, so I believe tomorrow they'll. Let's have a break. I think they're playing tomorrow. Yeah, they should be playing tomorrow. So hopefully the next game they can come out on top. But man, it's gonna be a fun season, man. I'm enjoying the NBA playoffs right now. You know, the best series right now is Golden State and Memphis. Although my boy Ja got injured. Sadly, he's doubtful for the game today, but hopefully he'll be good for Game 5. So I mean, I hope he comes back. But man, so far I've been loving the NBA playoffs, and I try to keep you guys updated on like my thoughts on how the series are going. And hopefully, when my brothers are free, they'll also join me on the discussion. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Miami Heat today, and man, how I wish and hope they overcome the Philadelphia 76ers because man, it's not looking good. But yeah, I'll try to make this more consistent. I made a schedule, so I'm sick of like I've been procrastinating. I've been kind of lazy. I'm in bad habits, so I'm trying to break my bad habits. So I am trying to be more consistent with these type of videos to keep you guys up to date on my thoughts on the world of sports, TV, all that good stuff. So I'll see you later. Peace.